Talc's crystalline appendages trembled as they watched their offspring, Vex, scamper across the shifting sands towards the looming silhouette on the horizon. The golden light of twin suns glinted off the mysterious object's jagged edges, a tantalizing beacon of the unknown. Vex. Stop right there, Talc's voice resonated through their communication crystals, a mixture of fear and urgency coloring the normally melodic tones. The young Crixian halted, its iridescent scales shimmering with curiosity as it turned to face its parent. But creator mine, it's so shiny. What is it? Talc hurried forward, their crystalline body chiming softly with each step. As they approached, the true scale of the wreckage became apparent. What had seemed like a distant curiosity now revealed itself as an enormous metal behemoth, half buried in the dunes. That, my inquisitive offspring, is something you must never touch, Talc explained, gently guiding Vex away from the wreck. It is a relic of the humans, and it is more dangerous than you can imagine. Vex's eye stalks swiveled between their parent and the mysterious object. Humans? The mythmakers from the stars. Talc's crystals dimmed slightly, memories flooding back. They were no myth, little one. They were very real, and the things they left behind are not to be trifled with. As they retreated to a safe distance, Talc couldn't help but recall their own first encounter with human technology. It had been cycles ago, when they were not much older than Vex. The marketplace had been buzzing with activity, traders from across the galaxy hawking their wares. Talc, young and naive, had been drawn to a stall selling what the vendor called human curiosities. Entranced by a small, smooth object with buttons, Talc had reached out to touch it. The vendor's warning came too late. A blinding flash, a surge of energy, and Talc had found themselves thrown backward, several of their crystals cracked and smoking. That day I learned to respect the power of human relics, Talc told Vex, their voice solemn. Even the smallest of their devices can hold unimaginable energy, and that they gestured towards the massive wreck is no small device. Vex stared at the distant wreckage, their earlier excitement replaced by a mixture of awe and fear. What is it, creator mine? Talc's crystals pulsed with a deep, somber light. That, my curious one, is the remnant of a human warship. And there is no more dangerous relic in all the galaxy than the weapons of war left behind by humanity. As the suns began to set, casting long shadows across the desert, Talc led Vex away from the wreck. But they could feel their offspring's fascination lingering, much like the human ship itself, an ominous presence on their peaceful world, a reminder of a violent past and a threat to their future. Come, little one, Talc chimed softly. It's time I told you about the humans, and why we must always fear what they left behind. Talc guided Vex to a small outcropping of crystals, their natural formation providing a place to rest while still keeping the human warship in view. As they settled, the desert winds whispered around them, carrying grains of sand that glittered in the fading light. You see that wreck? Vex, Talc began, their voice taking on a rhythmic quality used for important teachings. It's a remnant of a time when the galaxy trembled at the mere mention of humanity. Vex's eye stalks swiveled attentively. But creator mine, our world is peaceful. How could anyone make the galaxy tremble? Talc's crystals pulsed with a mix of admiration and fear. Humans were different. They came from a world we'd consider hellish: high gravity, corrosive atmosphere, extreme temperature variations. It made them tough, adaptable, and terrifyingly creative. The elder Crixian paused, collecting thoughts before continuing. They burst onto the galactic stage like a supernova. One cycle, we'd never heard of them. The next, they were everywhere, their ships pushing the boundaries of known space. At first, it was wonderful. They brought new technologies, solved problems that had puzzled our greatest minds for eons. But then, Talc's voice trailed off, crystals dimming. Then what Vex prompted, enraptured. Then came the misunderstanding, Talc resumed. A diplomatic error, a translation mistake no one knows for sure. But it led to conflict with the Tsar, thy Imperium. And that's when we learned the true nature of humanity. Talc's form shuddered, recalling memories of chaos and destruction. The war lasted barely a stellar cycle, but it reshaped the galaxy. Humans, they didn't just fight. They innovated. Each battle brought new terrors, weapons that distorted space-time, ships that appeared and disappeared at will, swarms of self-replicating machines that devoured entire fleets. Vex's scales had paled, their usual iridescence muted by fear. But we're still here. The war ended. Yes, little one. As quickly as it began, it was over. The Tsar thy Imperium crumbled. And then, in a move that shocked us all, the humans left. Left, Vex echoed, confused. Talc nodded, crystals chiming softly. They said they'd gone too far, become something they feared. In less than a cycle, they'd withdrawn from every world, every outpost. They left behind only ruins, wrecks, and warnings not to follow. The elder Crixian gestured towards the looming silhouette of the warship. That ship, Vex, is one of those ruins. A reminder of humanity's power and the destruction it can bring. Vex stared at the wreck, seeing it with new eyes. Have you ever seen a human creator mind? Talc's crystals flickered with a complex pattern of emotions. Once they admitted, during the war, I was a data analyst helping coordinate refugee movements. A human ship appeared in our system, pursued by Zarthai forces. The memory played out in Talc's mind, the streaks of weapons fire, the impossible maneuvers of the human vessel. Their ship was crippled. We thought them doomed. Then, their commander contacted us. I saw her face on the view screen, heard her voice. She was so calm, even in defeat. Talc paused, reliving the moment. She thanked us for our bravery, warned us to flee. Then, she did something to her ship. It exploded, taking out the entire Zarthai fleet, saved our whole system. As the last light faded from the sky, Talc turned to Vex. That's why we respect these relics, but never, ever touch them. Humans made wonders and horrors in equal measure, and often they were one and the same. Vex looked back at the warship, its outline now a dark void against the star-filled sky. I think I understand, creator mine, but if they were so powerful, why do we need to fear their relics now? Surely we've learned much since they left. Talc's crystals pulsed with warning. Ah, little one. If only it were that simple. As night fully enveloped the desert, the wreck of the human warship loomed like a shadow against the star-studded sky. Talc and Vex sat in silence for a moment, the weight of history hanging heavy in the cool air. You ask why we still fear these relics, Talc finally said, their crystals glowing softly in the darkness. The answer lies in the very nature of human technology. Vex leaned closer, eye stalks focused intently on their parent. Human devices often operate on principles we still don't fully comprehend, Talc explained. They harnessed energies and manipulated forces that our science had barely begun to theorize about. Even now, cycles after their departure, much of their technology remains a mystery. The elder Crixian gestured towards the wreck. That ship, for instance, might contain weapons that could level this entire continent. Or it might house a medical bay capable of curing diseases we thought incurable. The problem is, we often can't tell the difference until it's too late. Vex's scales shimmered with a mix of fear and fascination. Has anyone tried to study them safely? Talc's crystals pulsed with a somber light. Many have tried. Some have even succeeded in unlocking minor secrets. But the cost. They paused, gathering their thoughts. Let me tell you about the Jixthal incident. The Jixthal were a species known for their scientific prowess. They believed they could safely harness human technology. They found a derelict human research station and began to study it. At first, their discoveries were astounding. They cured 3 previously terminal illnesses in a single cycle. Vex's eye stalks quivered with excitement, but Talc's tone remained grave. Then something went wrong. No one knows exactly what they activated, but in an instant, their entire homeworld was gone. Not destroyed, gone. As if it had never existed. Trillions of lives, an entire civilization wiped from the universe. Vex's scales paled, their earlier excitement evaporating. That's the true danger of human relics, Talc continued. It's not just their potential for destruction, but the unpredictability. Human technology doesn't always follow the laws of physics as we understand them. It can alter reality itself. The elder Crixian turned to face the wreck again. That ship out there? It could contain the key to unlocking faster-than-light travel. Or it could house a dimensional tear that could swallow our entire star system. And the worst part is, we might not know which until it's far too late. Vex's voice was barely a whisper. So we just leave it alone? Forever. Talt's crystals chimed softly. We respect it. We study it from afar. We remember the lessons of the past. Humanity's relics are part of our galaxy's history now, for better or worse. They remind us of the heights of achievement and the depths of destruction that advanced civilizations can reach. The elder Crixian placed a crystalline appendage gently on Vex's shoulder. One day, perhaps, we'll understand enough to safely unravel their secrets. But until then, we must be cautious. We must remember that every human relic, no matter how small or harmless it may appear, carries within it the potential to reshape worlds. As they stood to leave, Talc took one last look at the silent, hulking form of the warship. Remember this night, little one. Respect the past, but don't let curiosity overcome caution. For in the relics of humanity, wonder and terror walk hand in hand. Vex nodded solemnly, their earlier excitement replaced by a newfound respect for the unknown. As they made their way back home across the moonlit dunes, the human warship stood as a silent sentinel, a reminder of a bygone era, and a warning to all who might underestimate the legacy of humanity. The desert winds whispered around them, carrying ancient secrets in each grain of sand, as Crixian parent and child left the human relic to its eternal vigil under the stars. Thank you so much for listening to this story. I hope you loved it. Please remember to subscribe if you did like it so you can see more videos like this. And please give us a like and a comment too. I'll see you in the next one.